aside from that, just what have you thought about this series so far between the Nuggets and the Clippers?
This series has showed a lot. I know maybe 2 summers ago, everyone's saying that, Russell Westbrook is a team killer. He's a cancer to locker rooms. He's this, he's that. He has 2 games in a row where he's hit clutch 3-point shots in the corner, and they are not even guarding him, and he is making them pay. The first game we saw that he has such a huge role. They put down the $100 million man in Michael Porter Jr., and he was sitting on the bench. We're seeing Russell Westbrook make an impact, and he is doing what he has to do. And I feel like Russell Westbrook is in the perfect situation because their point guard is the Joker. Nikola Jokic is the point guard. He brings the ball up. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Chris Bond, they all just run around and cut. And because defenses are not giving Russell Westbrook the respect that he deserves, he's going out there and killing dudes. Yes, he's not going out there and putting up triple doubles. Yes, he's not MVP anymore, but Russ is a solidified role player in this league, and he's doing that. And when in the moments where you need him most, he's going to show up for you. So to have a guy like Russell Westbrook in your corner for the Nuggets is going a long way for them. And Jamal Murray, we talk about it all the time. For 82 games, Jamal Murray is just another guy in the NBA. But the moment you tip that ball off in the playoffs, whole different man. He is going out there and killing. I think he hit 4 threes yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. His impact and his role has been solidified because we knew this is a Jamal Murray that when you think Jamal Murray, you think the bubble. You think him and Donovan Mitchell taking off, you score 40, I score 40, you score 40, I score 40. And then ever since then, he's been disrespected because he hasn't been an all-star. He's not an all-NBA guy, but he is what you call a playoff riser. Unfortunately, he doesn't do it throughout the season. We saw him play in the Olympics this year and put on a complete shit show, but he is coming in this year and doing his thing. So for Jamal Murray to come in here and have the impact that he's having is the reason why they won game 1. Game 2, they had a shot to the very end. Nikola Jokic, triple-double. Michael Porter had 6 offensive rebounds. Yes, Michael Porter Jr. Thought I would never hear the day. The odds for that, I couldn't even imagine. You know how much money you could have won? 6 offensive rebounds? 6 offensive rebounds. He had 12 total. His over-under was 4. That's pretty much.
Can you tell Kevin looked at the sports book? Can you guys tell?
I was dissected. Because the first game, I had Michael Porter for 15 points, and he had scored 4. So for him to come in and just be that kind of guy for him. Aaron Gordon is all over the place. Whether he's shooting the mid-range, shooting the 3. Christian Braun is coming in and doing the damn thing. So Nikola Jokic is the head of the ship without a doubt, but the supporting cast has really stepped up. Now let's get to the Clipper side of this. Lefty World's going to hate me for saying this, but God damn it, is James Harden an all-NBA player? James Harden is killing. He is single-handedly keeping this team around. Because, yes, I get it. Kawhi missed 1 shot yesterday and finished with 38 points. But game 1, Kawhi wasn't that. James Harden carried his weight. And then James Harden came into yesterday's game and did the same thing. So to have this duo playing at the level that they're playing at is going to go a long way. Can they take this team and carry them past this first-round series? I don't know why they can't. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard Kawhi Leonard is a guy who we only talk about in past tense. When we previewed this series, I said if Kawhi Leonard plays 4 games, they win the series. I remember, I think 2 years ago in the playoffs, he scored 35 points, didn't play the rest of the series. Ty Lue didn't know anything about it. They said he's not playing, he shut him down, and that was that. So now it kind of makes me feel bad because I'm a huge Paul George fan. You take Paul George off the team, and now are they going to – they could be a serious title contender. Yes, the Los Angeles Clippers can be a serious title contender if Kawhi Leonard is playing like this. This is San Diego State Kawhi. This is 22-year-old finals MVP Kawhi Leonard. Like, we're getting Toronto Kawhi. So we can get Kawhi Leonard to consistently play at
the one that had LeBron shook.
I wouldn't say all that. Having Kawhi Leonard playing at this level, Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the NBA. And them having the coaching advantage, you can tell that I don't even know the new coach's name. Every time they pan to him, I'm like, who is this guy? Where's Mike Malone? And I go, oh, never mind. Michael's no longer here. So seeing this new staff kind of will this team together, have been 2 close games. Game 1 came within 2 points, and yesterday came within 3 points. The defense in this playoffs, the understudy, free money. These games, you would have thought this was in the 80s. Like there's games that are in the 90s. The Rockets game will cover that last 95 to 92. Like these games are scoring under 100 points, and this is what people have been complaining about all season is how all the new generation NBA scores too many points, all about shooting threes. But in the playoffs, they're not letting them get to the cup. And another guy we're going to talk about later, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, had the worst game of his season, and everyone's talking about, oh, the refs aren't going to give him any calls. They were up 51. They won by 51 points. I'm sure if they were up 10, he would have been able to get going. But it's hard to get going when you're up 51 points. But as far as his Nuggets Clippers go, this is going to be a hell of a series. I was expecting this to be the second best first round series, followed by the Houston Rockets. But the way that's looking, I would say that either this or the Knicks is the best playoff series that we have going today. So a lot of good basketball to go, and looking forward to seeing if we can get Kawhi Leonard to play. That's a lot of impact on his knees, so I'm hoping he's healthy and he can bounce back. But the Clippers look really good right now, and they are a serious title contender.
Yeah, and a couple things that I wanted to add before we hear Toddy's thoughts on this series is that, number one, Nikola Jokic, in regard to Michael Porter Jr., was saying after game one, like, basically, if he's not giving effort now, then he doesn't love the sport, and he just is never going to give effort. Clearly gave effort with those 6 offensive rebounds. And then also, the Nuggets interim coach right now is David Adelman, as in the son of Rick Adelman. Exactly, Jaevon. And it's really ironic because you also have Ryan Saunders, the son of Flip Saunders, former Timberwolves head coach, on that same Nuggets bench. And so it's a legacy of coaches on that Nuggets coaching staff. But anyways, Jaevon, the Nuggets and the Clippers are tied 1-1 after 2 games in this West 4-5 matchup. Just what were your thoughts on it?
If you were an alien and came down to Earth, never heard of stats over politics, and listened to Kevin's monologue, you would say he's the gambler on the show, not the guy at the bottom. Who's this guy? He's talking about overs and unders, and his point total was this 6 off. You know what the odds would have been like that. So I just wanted to point that out. Say I've grown on Kevin, as you can see. But as far as the series goes, Game 1 was very back and forth. James Harden, shout out to our guy Kenny, aka Lefty World, if you guys didn't understand that reference. Had the 30-piece in Game 1. Absolutely took over the game, I think, in the fourth quarter. He tied the game up and basically sent it to overtime. Russell Westbrook had a very love-hate relationship type of game of him, knocking down the game-tying 3 with like 20 seconds. Or I think they went up 2 after that, after he hit that 3-pointer. Had a bunch of turnovers at the end. Kevin already mentioned Michael Porter Jr. basically got benched for Russell Westbrook in Game 1. Jokic was Jokic in Game 1. So everything pretty much canceled out. Kawhi Leonard, obviously, I think you could argue he's been the best player in the series, I think, if you want to kind of go player for player. Jokic and Kawhi are basically neck and neck. I'll give Kawhi the edge after 2 games. I think he's averaging north of 30 points in this series. Kevin, you could probably look that up for me. But we didn't really see a lot of Norman Powell really too much in Game 1, but I think he kind of woke up last night in Game 2, hitting that clutch 3 at the end. And I think that was pretty much the difference. James Harden, I believe, had a double-double still. Didn't have a 30-piece. I believe he had 18 points. But he had double-digit assists. But Kawhi Leonard was the star of the game last night, 39 points. He is a guy that, if he is healthy, that's the thing we've been saying for, I don't know, what's it been, 4 or 5 years? Basically, since he's been on the Clippers. If Kawhi is healthy, this Clippers team can be special. And knock on wood if you're with me, he's been healthy, and they've been balling out. So, like Kevin mentioned last year, Kawhi had a 30-piece in the Sun series. We never saw him again. That was it. And we were just like, okay, where's Kawhi at? So, going back, I did pick the Clippers to win, I believe, in 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, on last week's pod. But I think the momentum has shifted. Obviously, I think the presence of Michael Malone is being missed dearly. A veteran head coach who's been a champion at that, who's been in these types of situations whereas a new interim head coach, I don't know what his name is, something Adelman. Rick Adelman's son. He's the coach.
David
Adelman. he is, he's learning on the fly, and I mean, it doesn't hurt to have Nikola Jokic, arguably the best player in the world, kind of calling the shots there. But Jokic kind of had some questionable down the stretch plays. He missed a couple of free throws at the end that kind of left some meat on the bones.
4 free throws in the fourth.
Yeah, he missed 4 free throws down the stretch. Had a couple of turnovers. Some very uncharacteristic things that happened for Jokic down the stretch last night. Jamal Murray hit a big 3 last night. Kevin has mentioned that it doesn't really show up in until the playoffs. So, going on the road, the way that these 2 games have felt, it seems like the Clippers should be up 2-0. In game 1, the Clippers had 20 turnovers. So that was something that kind of just let the Nuggets hang around. I do think going into game 3, the Nuggets are going to have to figure out a way to. It's going to be hard because Kawhi is basically getting any and every shot that he wants on the floor. He's caught creating turnovers. He's just a guy that he's just one of those guys that people don't really talk about in this era because he's been injured so much. Like you got the KDs, the Stephs, the LeBrons. Kawhi Leonard, in recent memory, has been one of those type of premier players. And we'll even go back to when Stephen A. was saying he's the worst superstar in history. The guy's been injured. Like, what are we doing? It's his fault that his body shuts down on him. And we all know when he's healthy, this is the result that you're going to get. So I think that's the reason why Steve Ballmer didn't really have a problem of re-signing Kawhi Leonard, because he knows, hey, Kevin already mentioned, Paul George this, Paul George that. He knows when Kawhi is healthy, Toronto championship, he has obviously San Antonio championship, but obviously he had, he was young and had that big 3 around him as well. But when healthy, he can be one of those 1A guys that can lead you to a championship. Now, as far as Kawhi Leonard goes, Paul George is looking at it like, hey, let me just get what Kawhi got. Let's chill out.
The difference.
Let's hold on. Let's figure things out. Let's wait and see. And then that kind of rubbed in the wrong way. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm this and that. But we've seen in playoff time when Paul George is playing, you don't really get the same result. I'd say pretty much the only time we've seen that was young PG, however many years ago in Indiana.
Don't forget the Western Conference Finals appearance that he carried the Clippers to.
Yes.
Playoff P, baby.
Playoff P.
Ball game. LA.
Ball game. Ball game. The commercial that he had. But I just think Kawhi Leonard is the best player in this series, and the Clippers are going to come out on top. But this is probably going to be the best series of the entire first round.
You saying the Joker, the 3-time MVP? Today? Maybe a couple of years ago, Kawhi, but today, the Joker is without a doubt the best player in the series.
I'm just saying, we both watched the same game last night. So,
and one guy had a triple-double.
The other one won and had 39 points.
Okay, but he finished with what, 30-something and a 29. So he had 29, 12, and 10, Toddy.
Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the series. Clip it.
Indeed.
He said it. He said it, and he put his stamp on it. And so